Hi friends, we're talking measurement again. Today we're going to go into more detail on how we know whether we have an exact or precise measurement. So a precise measurement means, are you sure that it's accurate? Are you sure it's right? We talked about it a little bit on our last video, but our main focus was on knowing whether something was longest or shortest. Today we're just going to talk about how to use measurement tools to figure out something's units. Now, a unit just means one of one thing. If I'm measuring something in my base 10 blocks, this is 1 unit. It's 1 base 10 block. If I put 2 of them next to each other, it becomes 2 units. Now, units could be anything. It could be base 10 blocks. It could be counting cubes. We even talked yesterday about you could use your thumb as a unit. And as you get older, you'll use certain units that you might have heard before, like inches or feet or miles. Now, I want to show you some practice measuring with units, and then some important tips to remember when you are using those units to measure. So remember, we are learning to measure with units. We will know we're successful if we can measure accurately, or we can measure and know that we did it the right way. Now, let's pull up a picture from our math book. It says right here, use copies of a shorter object to measure, so figure out the size of a longer object. Lay each copy of the shorter object end to end. This will be the length unit. So what they're saying is they have this big long marker. You wouldn't take something like this long pencil and use it to measure a base 10 block. It's way too big. You have extra pencil left over and it makes it harder than it needs to. But if we're talking about a good unit to measure a base 10 block with, we're trying to measure a 10 block. This tiny 1 block makes a good unit, but it's because we can count it out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we can measure it from end to end without having too much extra. Here in the story, the boy's using cubes. So let's see, our length unit will be 1 cube, which means we're counting to see how many cubes fit across the whole marker. And he's saying it's 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes long. And he even drew this nice little line that shows the start of the marker and at the end of the marker. On his, the little attaching part of the cube is still over, and that's okay because he's just saying from cube to cube, not including the part that attaches, it's 4 cubes long. What he's saying here is don't leave gaps or overlaps in the cubes. Your measurements won't be right. So if we can't say this is 3 cubes long because 1, 2, 3, yeah, you can fit 3 cubes on there, but what about all this extra space? And then if you say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes long, that's not right either because you squish some of the cubes together, so it's not the whole cube length. When you're measuring in units, you need to make sure you're using just one and just the whole thing from end to end. Let's practice. So use cubes to measure the length. And let me go up here right away and I will grab some cubes for us to work with. So it will not let me scroll down. 1 second, friends. I want to make sure we have our cubes ready to go. Let's try that again. All right. Use cubes. So their cubes that they're using are the size of our regular cubes. So ignore that 4 because I have to use my little cubes. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And let me get rid of these extra cubes that I have laying around. Just get rid of those quick. Now, like I said, their red cube number is going to be different because they're using actual cubes. Like if we had laid cubes down in the book, I'm using our cube stamp. So we got 15 where they said 14, and that's okay. The main thing to check, do my cubes all line up? Are any of them covering each other? Nope. So that would be 15. Now let's do the eraser. That should be a little bit easier because it's a little shorter. So with our red cube, we'll go again. So we start at that starting line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we'll call it 7. It takes 7 cubes to fill up that space. So I would just write it. Once again, you notice I don't have any big gaps in my cubes. They are lined up pretty evenly. Some of them are a little out of line, but you can still tell what I'm talking about. Now, friends, here's my challenge to you. It's very similar to our challenge from yesterday. What can you find around your house to measure with? Now, today I want you to be very precise. Double check. Are you measuring something like if I were to measure my glasses, can I measure it like this with the 2 cubes or the 2 sticks in front of each other? Is this the best tool to use if I would have half a stick left, or can I find something else? Practice with what you can find at home. All right, until tomorrow. Bye-bye.